Today we have the Intel Core i5 6500 with 16 gigabytes of DDR3 1600 megahertz in dual channel, the Intel HD530, and a standard hard drive running at 5400 RPMs, Western Digital Green.
Hello and welcome back. Today we're taking a look at Blasphemous, which is a fairly recent game, at least in comparison to the integrated graphics card that I'm using currently. And it runs absolutely perfect. It says the minimum is a GTX 260 or an HD 4850. I say the minimum is something like probably a HD 620, HD 520, HD 4600 would probably run this as well. So if you have any sort of computer made within the last 10 years, this should definitely run. If you have a computer that's made within the last 15 or so, a little bit older than the last decade, I think it will still run. But when you start getting into the HD 2000 territory for iGPUs, HD 3000, that I'm not so sure. But if you tried it on a very, very old iGPU, I'd be interested to know what you got for results. This is on the HD530, obviously, and it's running perfect. I'm averaging close enough to 60 FPS anyway. The pixel art looks fantastic. They did a really good job on the models of everything as well. Definitely reminds me of a 16-bit era game for obvious reasons, but it really has that retro feel to it. Almost like Castlevania-ish. Ghosts and Goblins-ish a little bit. Though I'm playing on easy here, so it's nowhere near as hard as Ghosts and Goblins, but it's besides the point. Now it says for an OS you can use Windows 7 as a minimum. So if you're rocking Windows 7 still, this is one of the few games you'd be able to play. Of course, you can't load Steam, so you'll have to figure out how that works. But it also says 512 megabytes of RAM minimum. I think you could probably get away with less than that if you had an old 256 megabyte video card or something like that. But I think most people, even with iGPUs, have more than 512 megabytes of video memory. The hits that you make feel impactful too. Like it feels like you're hitting heavy, if that makes sense. Well, you gotta play it to see what I mean, but it feels good, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The game feels good. I love that he catches on to the ledge. That way you don't just fall to your doom, because I almost just fell into them spikes. All the colors are kind of muted, but it kind of brings a dark tone to it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And there could be other levels later on in the game that don't run that great on this hardware. I don't know how intense the backgrounds get. I don't know how many enemies may appear on screen at once. Right now it seems like you got maybe 2-3 enemies on screen at once. I don't know. If that number increases, then maybe the game becomes more intense on your hardware. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day.